Hello and welcome to The Stinger, a superfan's guide to Marvel, DC, Star Wars, legendary tropes, and much, much more in fandom entertainment. Joining me today, as always, it's my two chosen ones. It's Trent Neely and Joseph Snead. How we doing, boys?
It's mythic stuff we're talking about today. It's an important day.
Yeah, we're, doing good, fresh off the Super Bowl and that terrible Mando and Grogu TV spot.
Oh my gosh, it was so
Don't get me
bad,
started.
But
so
hey,
bad.
we're back together. The boys are back in town.
Boys are back in town virtually. Let's go. Uh, as always, thank you for listening to this podcast. You can listen wherever you get your podcast, and you can watch on YouTube, and you can follow us on social media at the Stinger Pod. Today we've got something new. We've got something new to test out for our audience here. We're starting a new series here on the Stinger. Um, Working title Trope Talk. That's right. We're getting into our favorite and least favorite tropes and storytelling devices that appear throughout fandom entertainment. Uh, Something that we've been kind of like throwing out as an idea for a while amongst the three of us. Like, I think it would be cool to kind of get into some of these storytelling devices and whatnot. And we're going to do it today. And we're starting out with a tried and true trope that shows up throughout a litany of stories uh going back decades, to be honest, in books. I think this one really shows up especially heavily in fantasy as a
hmm
genre. In particular, you see it in sci-fi storytelling as well, but I feel like it even gets parodied a little bit sometimes in just like the general
hmm
pop culture. But that's the chosen one trope. We were literally texting last night, still undecided what we were committing to for our episode. Like, what tropes do we actually feel passionate about? And this one came up. Why is this chosen one trope? Why is it something that could get us fired up?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just has been a cornerstone of storytelling, like you were saying, sort of from the get go, right? Like, I mean, like I think King Arthur is like the first thing that I think of.
Mm,
Like that, like I don't know if that's the first one that's like the
yeah.
first chosen one story, but that one, that story's been interpreted so many times, and like that's even a shorthand in storytelling of like, oh, it's a King Arthur story, but like in
hmm
the modern day or sci-fi or whatever. And just this idea of like everybody wants to achieve greatness. And like I think the chosen one narrative like fits the idea of like, oh yeah, not only do you want to achieve greatness, but you're like meant to achieve greatness. And so I think that appeals on like a emotional level for storytelling.
Mm,
Yeah, and I think it's in so many of the movies and TV shows that we've loved that you just kind of can't avoid it for any big, not any big, but for most pop culture big movies of the last 40 to 50 years, a lot of them have some aspect of a chosen one.
yeah. It's almost, yeah, because I think it's to the point now where if you're getting into a certain type of story, you kind of expect it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of waiting if we're in a kind of epic that fits into one of these genres we're talking about, and there's a main
Mhm.
protagonist, you're kind of waiting to hear like, all right, where's the prophecy? Where's this moment for this hero where we get to hear that they were destined to be the hero of the story? I know I kind of go into like, I'll be honest, something we've been talking about off mic a little bit is Joseph and I reading the fantasy series, some might call it romantasy series, Throne of Glass. And I'm 4 books in, Joseph's I think 5 books in. But
Yeah. I have Empire of Storms, but I haven't started it.
okay. Okay. Um as I'm reading this is something that's in the back of my mind, like, when are we gonna learn the hidden prophecy about the main character in that book series?
And that's something I've actually liked.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know how to talk about it without spoiling
It's tough.
stuff about
It's
the
tough.
main character. But I like that the main character is not a chosen one.
Yeah.
She has like some secret history sometimes,
Yeah.
which I'm fine
Which
with.
has been really cool to learn
But
about.
it's been cool to not be like, oh, the world has been waiting
Right.
for this hero. Because I mean, I think the main character is relatable because she's
Yep.
kind of stupid sometimes.
Ooh.
Um,
Ooh, you might oh man, let's start. I can't wait till we talk about this.
she
As
she stupid is maybe not the right word. She's very
no, there are
impulsive.
some moments. I look.
She's very impulsive and makes a lot of bad decisions,
I completely agree.
which I like, and I like that she doesn't have the pressure of like I have to. She has pressure on her. She doesn't have to be like, oh yeah, and then I have this thing that a witch talked
Right.
about 200 years before I was born, and I'm this person that's coming around. Now that could change. I don't know if that gets revealed later in the series or not.
Right. Right. We
I
don't know
really
yet.
hope it doesn't. But yeah,
We'll
I've
see.
enjoyed the twist on that.
I agree. And that's one example, but it is something that I had to go ask Haley before we started recording. I'm like, where I'm at in the books, I don't think there hasn't been a,
Mhm.
chosen one kind of story mentioned yet. So, and that's just something I've come to expect in these kinds of stories. But um as we get further into this, we didn't spoil Throne of Glass for anybody, because we can't spoil that for ourselves. We will be spoiling many, many other stories. I
Yes.
don't know how to say this, but basically, if you haven't seen something that's in this wheelhouse, if you haven't read something, some big ones: Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Star Wars in general.
I'm about to say, hopefully, if you're a fan of this podcast, a lot of these things like you guys have consumed by
Mhm.
now.
Right,
So
right. It would be weird if you're tuning in now and you're like, "Oh, actually I haven't seen The Empire Strikes Back." Um so just know, spoiler warning. We're going to spoil some stuff today. Um let's start by defining what we're talking about.
mm-hmm.
The chosen one trope. I try to find a definition. I went on Studio Binders, has a definition of the chosen one on their website. At its core, the chosen one trope revolves around a character who is predestined to achieve great things. They are often singled out by prophecy or by the universe itself, marked by fate to bring about change, salvation, or destruction. This trope taps into our deepest yearnings for purpose and significance, suggesting that within the tapestry of life, some threads are golden, destined to shape the future.
Yeah, I would say that's an accurate description of the trope.
Yep.
I would say a little bit more specifically in like storytelling is that like normally it's a thing of like a character is told like you're a chosen one, and either they're like heck yeah I am, or they're like no I'm not, like I'm not fit for this, and the whole movie or book is
Yep.
them being like no I can't do it, and then they do it fine. Um,
Mhm.
a version of this I was just reminded of. I actually rewatched the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe like 2 nights ago.
Oh, did you
I
really?
did. I was like, you know
Okay.
what? I haven't watched this in like 10 years. Let me take, and I'm like, you know
What a
what?
coincidence.
This holds up great. But that's like a great like down the road version of the trope for me, where like those kids, they're just like, nah, we're just kids trying to avoid war, and that's like, nope, too bad. Like you guys, like gotta
Not
do this thing.
Wait,
not only do we have one chosen one, we
We have
have
four.
four chosen
okay,
ones.
can you remind me then? Because it's been years since I've watched or read the book.
Ah, Josh, you gotta get on it. Gotta get on Disney Plus
I
after.
know, I know. I remember watching it in theaters. And I drafted the movie last episode, so I do need to get what is the prophecy for these kids?
Whether it's a son of Adam and a son of Eve, or
That's
two,
right.
two sons of
That's
Adam
right.
and two daughters of
That's
Eve
right. Yep.
will
Yeah,
sit on the thrones of the
Care
castle that I forget the
Paravel.
name of.
Care Paravel.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, because when they get there, the chairs are already there.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. It's coming back to me now. Yep. Okay, so is that all right? So where did it land for you? Having rewatched it, you said the movie held up well in your memory.
Movie holds up great. Really, my only like nitpicks of it this time around were that like a lot of stuff happens in 2 hours. I was like, oh, we're flying through this more than I
Okay.
remembered. It's like
Yeah.
very efficient, which isn't a bad thing, but it's just a lot very quickly.
Yeah.
And like Susan's kind of not the most interesting character. Sorry, Susan, but of the four kids, she's just like
Yeah.
she's given much less personality than the other three.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
which stinks if you know what happens in like the later books with Susan.
I've heard book Susan. It's like a book Ron Weasley situation where it's like
Yeah, but Susan's like the last thing you see of her in the books is like devastating. So
Oh, okay. Maybe we'll get that this time around on Netflix. Okay, so
we got a long time to go because that's in the very last book.
oh, interesting. Okay. All right, so how did what's your feeling on the like placement of that trope then, Trent?
I mean, it makes sense to, and it's like it's weird because it's like a good use of the trope, and like it is very tropey, but also like there's so much of the religious allegory in that one too
Yeah.
that it like makes it like it makes sense that C.S. Lewis is picking a story about like this is all ordained and part of a larger plan.
Mm-hmm.
And so like it's like some of it's cheesy, but like the kids aren't over entitled about it or over resistant to it, which I hate. Those like I hate that version the most when like the protagonist like super embraces it or super resists it. I like in Narnia they're all like this is crazy, there's no way this is even happening, but once they get on board they're like okay, I guess we got to do this, but like I'm still not going to be cocky about it.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like in the examples we talk about today, it almost feels like you could know where the outcome's going to go based on what that character's choice is at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Are they
Yes.
psyched about it or are they resistant to it? It tends to like go well for those who are resistant to it at first. I
Yes,
think.
and then the ones who are psyched, it does not work out that
Be
well.
like,
Cough,
why
cough.
are you psyched
Anakin,
about
cough,
that?
cough.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me more. Tell me more. Why are you psyched about this? I'm gonna give a real life example of the chosen one trope playing out in not a story, but in real life in pop culture. Let me tell you about the story of one LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
When I thought about the chosen one earlier, his name came to mind immediately. Sports Illustrated puts him on the cover of SI magazine with the chosen one as the title, slaps it right on the cover of him in high school before he's drafted to the Cleveland Cavaliers. He gets drafted to the Cavs. He's amazing off the jump. He takes him to the finals early in his career. They get smacked by the Spurs. They keep running into a wall in Cleveland. He's not getting the help he needs. He's not evolving as a player. So he leaves home and he puts on Darth Vader's helmet and he goes and joins the Miami Heat. He goes and does his thing in the Heat, wins his 2 championships. When things run out with the Heat, what does he do? Like every good hero's journey, he comes back home. He comes back home to Cleveland and he wins the championship. He brings the Larry O'Brien trophy home, taking down one of the greatest teams in NBA history. And he's screaming, Cleveland, I did this for you at the end. It's beautiful. It is the chosen one trope. Sports Illustrated put it on him. It was the prophecy. He's the next Michael Jordan. He definitely put some of it on himself. He did get a little Paul Atreides there for a second.
Yeah, the
And
decision.
and he came back home and won the championship for the Cavs. That's to me the chosen one trope in a nutshell right there.
And then he went and joined the Lakers.
Exactly. The story keeps going because, it did. You're right. The story doesn't end there. The hubris got to his head and he went to the Lakers. He won a bubble championship and then he traded for Russell Westbrook and tanked the Lakers into oblivion. So,
but now they have Luka. So.
They do, but you can't give that to LeBron. LeBron did not do that.
Le GM.
Le GM did not accomplish that. That was Nico Harrison. The Mavs GM did that. But anyway, chosen one tropes get complicated the further you go down the line. That was immediately what came to my mind. So thanks for going to my my basketball corner for a second.
As somebody who's like aware of basketball but not like in deep, hearing it all spelled out like that, I'm like, this is incredible stuff right here.
It's the NBA is drama at its height.
100%.
It's basically a soap opera.
That's what professional wrestling is.
That's true. That's true.
That really is what professional wrestling is.
Yeah. Who's the chosen one of wrestling?
Probably Probably Roman Reigns or Cody
I'm
Rhodes.
about to say it's one of those
Okay.
two right now.
Okay.
Yeah, when Cody came back, he was the chosen one to defeat Roman Reigns. And let me tell you, I was having a good time when he finally won that championship.
There you go. See? The people love it. The people love a chosen one.
It's everywhere.
And we're going to talk about it. So, let's talk about some of our favorite and then least favorite and then some ones we're not sure about, examples of this trope. Trent, you had a list coming in. We'll I'm sure we're going to cover a bunch of those throughout. But is there one you want to throw out immediately as like, I think this is how one story took this trope and accomplished it very well?
I mean, my personal favorite one of this, honestly, like as I'm sitting here looking at my list, I'm gonna laugh, but it's Emmet from the Lego Movie is actually like my personal favorite of this, where it's like,
You have to remind me, man.
so in the masterpiece that is the Lego Movie 2014, they're like, "Yo, Emmet, you're the master builder. Like you are meant to like be the special." To like save us from the Craggle and all of this crazy stuff that Will Ferrell was doing in the Lego Movie, and he's like, "No, I'm just a guy." But then at the end of the movie, it's revealed that like, no, correct, there is like no one special. It's the idea that like if you embrace the fact that you have a responsibility and that you're willing to become the special, that like that's what makes you the chosen one, is your willingness to take on the responsibility. And it's so perfect and it's so well done, and it's basically what they do with Neo in the Matrix, but like it's even more wholesome. um
It's a great movie too.
it's perfect. It's a masterpiece, no flaws.
So you like it because it it
it
comes
like
it comes down to
it
his choice.
Right, it subverts it, but then like he fulfills the trope anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, and so that's my favorite version of it.
that's awesome. I love it. I love that the Lego movie is like we're about to talk about epics, some of our greatest authors of all time, and it's
I know,
like,
and I'm like, well, that's
let me tell you about the let me tell you about it. Every day is awesome.
yes.
Um Joseph.
Do you, well, real quick, do you want me
Yeah.
to talk about the Matrix while we're sort of on
Yeah,
that?
yeah, go to the Matrix next.
Because
Open
like
up
that's
that.
the other famous one. Obviously, like there's this simulation, and like the rebellion is like there's a tale of a chosen one who will free us from the Matrix, and they're like, we think it's you, Neo, played by Keanu Reeves, and Keanu Reeves is like, no, I'm not the guy. And then eventually he's like, wait a minute, I am the guy. But then, spoiler alerts for the Matrix and its sequels, in the second movie, Neo basically talks to a program that represents the Matrix, and it's like, oh yeah, actually, we learned that humanity rejected the simulation if they had no hope. So the chosen one trope is programmed into the Matrix. Like a random person is selected, and they can either choose to let all of humanity die or reboot the system, and a new chosen one will be chosen from a new portion of humanity. So then you learn
What?
it's basically part of the Matrix. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh. But it's still but it's randomized.
So, sort of like it's not, well, it's not randomized, it's chosen by the machine, I
By
guess.
the machine. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like it's not actually, it's the illusion of choice basically. But then Neo chooses to resist the machine anyway, so then it's kind of like Emmet as well. He chooses to be a chosen one anyway.
I see.
So yes, the Lego movie does it in a much more wholesome way, which is why I like it more.
And from what I understand about the Matrix saga as it's gone on, it just gets more complicated the more time.
Oh, and if we open the door of the Matrix Resurrections, then it gets really complicated, because like that will change stuff a lot.
That's what I've heard. It's like the Lego movie. It's in the sweet spot. It's like we're not going to go down all those rabbit holes.
No.
All you need to know is Emmet is
Emmet chooses to help and save his friends.
Exactly.
Like, that's all you need.
Exactly. You need to put him in the Matrix, honestly.
There you go.
Joseph, what's your favorite? One of your favorites.
I was just thinking of it when we got on. Captain Benjamin Sisko from Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Oh,
I bet you didn't know Star Trek had a chosen one.
I did not.
Yeah, Captain Sisko is a chosen one, and I don't really know how to explain it because it's pretty wild. There's these dimensional wormhole aliens that the Bajorans worship as gods, and they're non-corporeal, non-linear, beings that have co-opted Benjamin Sisko to do their work with the Bajorans, and so for the Bajorans, they're prophesied to have this emissary come from outside of their society, and
Uh-huh.
so the captain, the main character of Deep Space Nine, becomes like a religious figure. But he's a Star Trek captain. He's like, this is I don't really gel with this.
Yeah.
But he also like goes back and forth and talks to they call them the prophets, these extra kind of like extra dimensional non-corporeal beings. They call them the prophets. And he's like, I don't really know what's happening because I thought this was stupid, and then I talked to these guys, don't really know what to make of that.
Yeah.
And throughout the series, more and more gets revealed about Captain Sisko and how he may have had an interesting story of his conception. It's not a virgin birth or anything.
Oh.
But like one of the non-corporeal beings like possesses a human woman to create him.
Oh, shoot.
Wow.
And he's like,
Oh.
so his dad comes up to him and is like, hey, remember my wife that was your mom? Yeah, that wasn't your mom. Your real mom like was around for a little bit, and then one day she was just like, dang, I feel different, and left because
Bro,
like
what?
the non corporeal being left her body or something like that. So anyway, Captain
Well,
Sisko, crazy
wild.
version.
That's nuts. That feels like an acid trip
That's awesome.
right there, what you just described.
Yeah, and it is also my favorite Star Trek series.
There you go.
That's true. I feel like, yeah, I've heard you say that.
Yeah, DS9 did it good, and then as we were talking, Cody was kind of a chosen one, but in a little bit different way. Like his dad like never won like the big championship, and he was basically fighting a giant supervillain in Roman Reigns, and he went and won the Royal Rumble.
There you go.
And he gets to WrestleMania and he lost.
Mm-hmm.
And the next year was about him clawing his way back to try and win the title. And he did. And I was like, this is amazing. And wrestling kind of peaked there for me. I was like, I don't think this can get any better.
Yeah.
And for me, it hasn't. But I think Cody was a good one. Like you were talking about LeBron.
Right.
It's different because Cody's was scripted.
True.
But
You
still,
can't-
yeah.
Who knows? We're still trying to figure out if the NBA is scripted.
And then I think the one that I've had the most kind of time with has been Anakin.
Right.
Of course.
I mean, we got to get into it.
It was only a matter of time.
Like,
well, so where does that land for you in the range of green, yellow, red? Like in the range of favorite S tier to F tier. This is a terrible chosen one storyline. Where is Anakin Skywalker?
Probably like a B plus.
That's probably where I would put it too.
I think it works for the story, but it's also kind of like, did we need to have this, or could he have just been a really powerful Jedi hungry for power? I think it works, but it's not. I don't think it's necessary. People write the stories, and so if it's like that, it's necessary to the story. I think you could almost take the chosen one stuff away, and it really wouldn't change anything.
I don't know if I agree.
That's fine.
I think
if you took the chosen stuff away,
I think the one that changes the most is Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Because Qui-Gon's all like, wait, like he has no dad? Like what do you mean like Anakin has no dad? And then he's like, oh, like this dude's the chosen one, and his insistence about that is like what makes Obi-Wan confident to train him.
Right.
This dude's got 20,000 midichlorians.
Yeah.
Well, so I agree with you on the grade of this being like a B plus. I guess I push back because I'm like, I feel like the Jedi Council and Yoda and Mace Windu and all of their feelings about Anakin are as heightened as they are because of the prophecy of the Chosen One.
But
But see that like
I think
that's my weird part about it is I don't like how inconsistent like the people around Anakin treat him because of that. That's like my beef with it.
Oh, okay.
Is that like Obi-Wan is just like he's not paying enough attention to Anakin because he's like, oh, Qui-Gon said he's the chosen one, he's got it, and then Mace Windu just like hates Anakin for like beyond reasonable measure, which is like so funny to me every time I rewatch the prequels.
yeah,
Just like Mace Windu hates his guts for basically no reason.
In every situation.
He's just like no.
and I think it's too some of the problem of little kid Anakin.
Yes.
Like you didn't necessarily need to start with little kid Anakin. I think if you could have done it the same way and had Anakin be like Luke's age in the Phantom Menace and already be like an apprentice, but be kind of feeding his like desire for power.
Yeah, I think so too. The midichlorian the midichlorian count to me is probably what weakens this the most.
Yeah.
I know it's a silly thing that we joke about as Star Wars fans a lot.
Yes, because like I do love that it's become like it was a thing that people like hated.
Yeah.
And now it's like, and then the people were like, oh, it's fine, and now it's just like a weird footnote that nobody knows what to do with whenever they talk about Star Wars. And I think it's really funny.
Everything. Well, not the Bad Batch, but most everything since then has kind of ignored it.
Yes, Filoni brings it up occasionally, and I think it's funny that he's
Filoni,
like, I'm not gonna let it like go away.
and like in the sequels, they were like, we're swinging this other direction,
right,
from midichlorians,
so. Right.
Although is Rey actually the chosen one?
That's a great question. How much does Rey complicate Anakin being the chosen one?
Probably my favorite part of episode 8 was Rey being like just this random nobody.
When we were talking about like chosen one tropes, I was like, and we were like the impact of pop culture. I was like, I mean, this broke the sequel trilogy. Was how people responded to this idea that she wasn't, and people were so mad that episode 9 pivoted to like, well, she's still a big part of the storyline.
She's like a new chosen one, and
but Anakin, Joseph, to your point about Anakin, like I don't think this changes anything. This is like my main issue with episode 9 is I'm like you could still have everything happen in episode 9, but her not be a Palpatine, and it could be exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's so
it totally could.
It's so, and that's what made like. Oh, I mean, we'll save the episode 9 pod for a Patreon
for another day. Yeah.
But like,
or we can just like never save it for another day.
We have to. It's how we move forward as Star Wars fans. It's a community.
It's a weird movie. It's a weird movie to talk about. Like I'm weirdly like fascinated by episode. Anyway, but like I don't want to get off on a tangent. Well, I'm weirdly fascinated by episode 9 now.
The whiplash that episode 8 and 9 have complicate the whole Chosen One storyline in Star Wars for me. Like when this idea came up as an episode, like I didn't know where to put Star Wars because you have Anakin as the Chosen One.
You sort of have Luke initially.
Sort of Luke. Then you learn, once you watch episodes 1 through 6 together, you realize it was Anakin all along.
Yes. I think Luke is more of a retcon of a Chosen One because I think Chosen One is a trope you can use in the hero's journey.
Yeah,
because Luke is like stereotypical hero's journey.
Right. I mean, it's almost like the foundation.
I don't think Luke is a chosen one in the original trilogy.
I agree.
He's just main character.
Yep.
But Anakin is definitely chosen one, and Rey's in this like weird gray area. Because you have the mystery box and them hinting like, is she Luke's daughter? Is she Palpatine's granddaughter? Which was coming up when the first movie came out.
It was. That was a popular theory at the time.
Is she Obi-Wan Kenobi's granddaughter? Like, you know.
I did want that one for a little while.
If she had to be somebody's child, or yeah,
Yeah.
that was my pick as well.
So personally, I liked the her being a nobody
Me
because
too.
Same. So did I.
I thought that was a twist on a chosen one thing. It was like
Yes.
Yes.
actually she's not, and that's the point. And then they come back and are kind of like, she's the daughter of the emperor or the granddaughter of the emperor, and whatever. Um, but they've almost set it up to be like cycles of chosen ones because they have
Right.
they have the voiceover when she's connecting with all of the Jedi, and Anakin's like, bring balance as I did.
Right.
It's like, oh, so the chosen one is the one that brings balance,
Balance. Yep.
and Anakin did it, and now it's Rey's turn, and who's the chosen one in the future?
Yeah.
Who knows? We may never get there.
I hope we
I
won't.
I but that's why it's so complicated for me, because they had such a great subversion of it
Yes.
in
Mhm.
episode 8, and then they went the other way, and now we have two chosen ones in the same saga, which to me bumps the grade down further, because I'm like, well, now I don't know what to like. Now this story that felt complete at the end of episode 6, now we have this weird little coda that we've added to it that didn't need to have another chosen one, but it does.
Yep.
Mhm.
And
It's there now.
I don't know what to do with this. Uh yeah. Because I would say Anakin as a chosen one, as a traditional rendering of the trope. Um At least that's what it is to me. I know he fails as the chosen one, but
But that's interesting to me too, that he failed.
exactly,
Like, it's the idea
exactly,
that like he definitely like would have done it, and it like the thing I like think about rewatching it and getting older is like the Jedi didn't even have to try like that hard to make sure that it went well. Like, like keeping Anakin on the
Mhm.
rails wouldn't have been that challenging, but like they didn't
right.
do like the 5% of their job, just like to do it.
Like, hey,
Do your job, Jedi.
can we nurture him
Just a little bit.
because the Jedi can nurture the children. I mean, look at Yoda with the younglings,
Exactly.
and Yoda's just like, yes, the mind of a child is wonderful, except that
Except
once.
this once. We hate this child's mind.
Well, it's crazy because
he's
it's
terrible.
one throwaway line in the Phantom Menace where they're like, he's a little bit old to begin training, and from that one line of dialogue, they're basically like, we're throwing this kid away, like it's not gonna work.
Yeah, like,
like
like what? Meanwhile, Grogu's wandering the halls of
And it's like, he's 9 years old. He's too old to begin his training. Let's take this mega powerful force user and just like abuse him.
right, yeah. Right.
So,
Yeah. The
and throw
Jedi.
and throw him with Obi-Wan, who's like pretty new at the whole master thing. Like, hey, we know you've never done this before. Here's the only time we've ever done this, and you can have him and train him. But we're also going to treat him like crap.
yeah.
It's like going from city council to president of the United States. Like that they really said like you were a middle manager, Obi-Wan, and now you're the fate of the galaxy's in your hands. The one who's meant to bring balance to the force. You got it, man.
And
Go
look,
for it.
like I know we're laughing about it, and it is like as part of like the chosen one trope, it is like ridiculous, but also like these were 100% intentional, like George Lucas storytelling decisions. Like
They were.
like none of this is an accident. Like this is why like as I get older, Qui-Gon is such a good character because he's
Yeah.
basically saying all Phantom Menace. If you're paying attention, he's like the Jedi Council are like messing everything up. Like, and
Right.
that's why I don't do
He was the
everything like
warning
by the
signs.
book.
Yeah.
And then like he dies, and like Anakin's like Qui-Gon would have handled Anakin fine. He would have been
Yep.
like, "You got a crush on a girl, like no big deal, like we'll get through it, like you're good." But like since he died, like
Qui-Gon would have handled the. I think Anakin could have gone to Qui-Gon with the
yes,
Padme thing and been like, "Hey, Chief, so
So-
I'm like a teenager now, and that senator is like really cute." Qui-Gon would have been like, "Hey, buddy, we're Jedi. We don't really do that, but you know what? If you want to just like chill, we don't even have to be Jedi anymore. I'll just like teach you about the Force. We'll go on some adventures." You can be with your girl. It'll be okay.
Qui-Gon, Padme told me to stop staring at her
Pretty
so
much.
creepily. Uh,
So creepily.
yeah,
Qui-Gon,
yeah.
do you think it's okay that I hand carved her a necklace after knowing her for 3 days?
Are you an angel? Such a good trip down memory lane. All right, I'm gonna transition. We're gonna leave Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of the big ones that we had on the list to talk about. But this is my personal favorite. Uh, even though I'll be transparent saying that I don't know how this story ends yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I love it because it is not a direct approach to the trope of the chosen one.
Mm-hmm.
It is a subversion of that, like we were talking about with Ray, and that's Paul Atreides.
Paul.
Paul Atreides, Lizan Al Gaib, Muad'Dib. Um, because if you've seen the first two Dune movies or read the book, I've read the book and seen the movies. I have not read Dune Messiah, and Dune Part 3 is coming out this year. So we will see how Denis Villeneuve chooses to portray this rendition of the Chosen One. But you know that the the whole premise of the Chosen One is a manufactured prophecy by the Bene Gesserit.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas most of the Chosen One tropes that we see throughout stories come from a prophet, like you were talking about with Star Trek, Joseph, or they come from a prophecy or belief amongst a group of people like the Jedi that this person is the chosen one. Here we have a group in power in the witches of the Bene Gesserit who have ulterior motives of controlling groups of people who are on the margins by weaving these stories of a Messiah coming to save them.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what the Bene Gesserit did with the Fremen by weaving the story that the Lizan Al Gaib was going to lead them to a paradise uh, on their planet and turn what was broken into this paradise. And then they actually do it. It was always meant to be a story to keep these people uh trapped on their planet, so to speak, and in check under the thumb of the rulers in power. And then Timothy Chalamet shows up, and when we talked earlier about usually someone's gonna be resistant or they're gonna be super hype about this. I wouldn't say that Paul Atreides is excited about the prophecy when we first meet him and when we start first learning of the prophecy, but I was watching a video earlier today, kind of breaking down this prophecy, and the author of the video pointed out that like Paul's motivation to kind of go down this path and become the Lizan Al Gaib to these people is motivated by revenge because the Harkonnens killed his father, and
Mhm.
now he's on a revenge path. And what's interesting to me about this is that Paul knows this is a manufactured prophecy, and yet he still throws himself fully into it by the end of the first Dune book in a way that he believes he really is the Messiah. And to me, I think that's why I love this one the most, is because you can see when you put the idea in someone's mind that they could be the savior of the world, uh and that if that was written by human hands and not actually the truth, in the wrong hands, that person's gonna actually believe it and the
Mhm.
worst outcome could happen. That's why I love this one the most. Joseph, you know the full story in totality. So like,
Kind of.
okay. But like why why is this a subversion? Why does it go poorly in the end?
So the Bene Gesserit see this something similar to this belief in a lot of different cultures. the Fremen are very like desperate and a little bit rabid as a culture because of just the harsh environment they're in. And so Paul and Jessica are like, hey, they're probably going to kill us if we don't play this role of the Messiah character. And what they do some of this for is in case a Bene Gesserit gets stuck somewhere, they're just like, ah, yes, I'm a person that's of the religion that you follow. But what they're trying to do is actually create through the like genetic stuff, and they marry people and do
Yeah.
cross marriages and stuff
Mm-hmm.
in order to actually produce this basically male Bene Gesserit that can see the past and the future. But Paul is outside of their control because he
Right.
wasn't supposed to be the one. Jessica was supposed to have a daughter that they, I think, pair up with Fade Rotha, and then their kid would be, their son would be it. But she trained Paul up in Bene Gesserit ways, and he kind of was like, I'm not dealing with your nonsense. I'm just going to take this on myself. But he actually had the kind of prescient abilities to be able to do it. And then he almost locks himself as a slave into the future that he's seen. So
Yeah.
it's like he's a chosen one, but in this case, being a chosen one is horrible.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right. It's like it's his own choosing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was interesting because like I've seen the movies and I read partway through Dune and then I lost momentum, and so but I remember I saw an interview back in the day with Denis Villeneuve when Dune Part 2 was coming out, and he was like, yeah, it was really interesting that like according to him, Frank Herbert, like when he wrote the original novel, he always meant it to be a cautionary tale of
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
power and belief and stuff. And when people read the book, like real audiences, like read the book back in the day, they were like, "Oh, this is like an awesome hero
Yeah.
adventure sci-fi epic."
Yep.
And so he wrote Messiah as a like course correction of
Yeah.
like you all kind of
Yeah.
missed it, and here's what I'm going for. And so Denis Villeneuve was like, that changed though the fact that I had both books to pull from. That he was like, I was able to make Dune, like imbue Dune with more of like the cautionary stuff beforehand, and
And
then go even
Yeah.
deeper, like in
That's so interesting.
and I won't spoil too much of what happens in Dune Messiah, but Paul kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I
so,
assume
That's
that's
what
the
that's what
so
I assume too.
Paul's kind of awful, but he's also like, I have to be awful or worse things are going to happen.
Classic.
So, I mean, Paul is basically like an all seeing dictator.
Yeah.
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 And
Sounds
he's,
like a great time.
yeah, he's like, wow, my life is horrible. And I'm just like trying to, there's an event he knows is going to happen. And he's like, I'm just trying to kick the can down the road as long as I can.
I see. That's interesting. Oh, I can't wait to find out. But I that quote that you're talking about, Trent, it's honestly when I read I knew of what we're talking about from a trope standpoint from like the longevity of the story while I was reading Dune. But the way it's written, I will be honest, for it just goes to show I think what we as just as a society have
Mm-hmm.
come to expect on our stories over the long history. I mean honestly, guys, going back to the Bible, like we expect the chosen one storyline and for the hero to be a hero of good intentions.
Yep.
And when you read the end of Dune, it reads like a victorious moment. And it's just so interesting that Frank Herbert was like, "No, this was trying to be a warning. Like, shouldn't you guys see that? Like, when you like put a leader on a pedestal, it becomes this like problematic thing and puts them in a level of power
Mm-hmm.
that a human just isn't meant to handle."
Mm-hmm.
And but we're hoping that actually happens as a society a lot of times,
No, and
and I think
it's
that's so fascinating.
No, it's so cool. And if you watch the David Lynch version of Dune, which is a famously troubled production, the end of that movie plays such a straightforward, like, blockbuster triumph
Yeah.
moment too. And then
Yep.
you
Mhm.
watch the end of Denis Villeneuve, Dune Part Two. Like, the ending of that movie is so good because it's so foreboding. Like,
Yeah.
and it's so almost beats you over the head with, like, this is not going well. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so yeah, I can't wait to see what he's doing with
Well,
Part Three.
you see the way the Fremen are acting, and you're like, wait a minute, they're pretty bloodthirsty about going
Right.
and like
Right.
murdering the universe, and Paul's just like, go
Let's
on,
go.
go have some fun.
Let's go do it.
Yeah.
I think the I to me, I think his choice to set Chani, Zendaya's character, on a different path
Mm-hmm.
than what happens in the book helps a
Yeah,
lot with that, with the ending of the movie feeling like, oh, we're going into troubled waters now.
Yeah, you're 100% in her POV in those
Yep.
last 5 minutes.
Yep.
yep. And
Um
her POV in the whole second part of the second movie is, hey, I really don't like this prophecy stuff. Paul, the guy, is cool, but the stuff around him is not.
yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Um we've talked about some of our favorites. What are some of our least favorite examples of this? I guess we kind of talked about Ray already. Joseph, I know you have one that really, it might have spawned us even recording this episode.
Yeah, I don't really have a strong one. I mean, I'll just circle back. Like, Luke, I know you guys are saying, and I think you guys are right, that technically he's not a chosen one, but he sort of is for A New Hope. And I will say, like, my favorite version of Luke is Return of the Jedi, when he's not like, I'm the center of the universe, and he just is interested in seeing if he can, like, redeem his dad. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like, I don't like when he's like a typical hero, and I like that part of his journey much more. But yes, I think we got to save this for Joseph's big moment here.
Yeah, Joseph got to cook.
One of my favorite Disney movies of all time, Mulan.
Mm-hmm.
Great,
It's a great movie.
great
Perfect.
time, great movie, no notes. And the live action remake of Mulan, in my opinion, straight trash. And the main reason, like, you can talk about some of the changes, like Mushu's not there, um, Shang, the love interest, isn't there, but they turned Mulan into a chosen one. And the most compelling part of the Mulan story is that she's a woman that's disguised as a man, and she becomes better than all of the men
Right.
by outworking them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you see the scene, like in the "I'll make a man out of you" sequence. She's like up early in the morning and up late at night training, trying to get there. And in the live action Mulan, she's like prophesied or something to have the most magic chi out of everyone and to be the most powerful chi wielder ever. And that's how she overcomes. It's like she's so much more magic than everyone else. And it was just like, this is a total betrayal of what this character is supposed to be.
Mm.
The point of Mulan is she is literally the person nobody cares about. She sucks
Yep.
at the makeup and the like tea party stuff.
Yep.
So she brings dishonor on the house because she's not a great daughter from like a cultural perspective, even though
Right.
she like cares for the family and is there for them. But she's a failure in society's eyes. She is disguised as a man, and Mulan is small,
Right.
and she's got all of these other guys around her, this general, these kind of hooligans that I have a great time with when they're up to their shenanigans. But she's not strong, she's not a fighter, and she spends all this time extra trying to train so that her father doesn't have to go to war and die, because if he went to war, that dude's folding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then in the live action movie, she just shows up and is just magic and is better at everything and can
Man,
like run up walls and sword fight really well. And I was watching the movie like I was so excited for live action Mulan because of the stuff they could do with like the combat and the effects and it being set in the Asian culture
Mm-hmm.
and how that's different from a lot of the kind of the more fairy tale ones that they had been
right.
doing, like Snow White and Maleficent and Cinderella. So you get this different design style, and just didn't care for it. I was like, what is the point of this? You completely missed what Mulan was about, and it was
Yeah.
about working hard and protecting the people that you love.
I could I Joseph gave us a sneak peek at this before we started recording. Honestly, I was shocked because I didn't like this. I just didn't hear about this.
Yeah, neither did I.
Like that sucks. I'm surprised there wasn't more of a complaint about this. That at least maybe there was. I just didn't hear it. But like, yeah, that sucks. They literally just said like, sorry, sorry, little girls out there who love the character Mulan, but like, if you don't have the chi magic inside of you, then
Yeah,
you can't do what she does. That's a bummer.
I was gonna say that just bums me out. Like I'm
Yeah,
not even like mad. I'm just like that just flat out bums me out. Like
Yeah, I think the reason it hasn't stuck around as much is just because like nobody cared. Like nobody
that's
cared.
that's true.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was so against the vibe of the thing that people just like didn't even
And
show up.
and it
that's the
was
biggest indictment on the live action reboots.
it was a straight to Disney Plus release
Oh,
because
this was like COVID,
it
wasn't
was
it?
during COVID. It was a
That's
straight
right.
to Disney
Yes,
Plus
that's
release,
right.
and I think people were starting to get tired of the live action Disney remakes. And
Here
then
we are still
it
doing
just
it
I'm
5
about to
years
say,
later.
and yet like I'm honestly convinced like the Moana live action remake might be a top 5 highest grossing movie this year.
Oh, that hurts.
and it probably won't be any good. It'll take like the good parts of the animated one and just botch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
How do you
it will.
how do you do those coconuts in live action? I have no idea.
Great point. It's like maybe there's a reason we have animation and it's do cool stuff you can't
And
do in live action.
Yes, this
What a
is literally the
shocking
point.
concept.
This is literally the point.
and the best, in my opinion, the best of the live action Disney movies was the Jungle Book,
Me too.
where it kept the spirit of it, but changed a lot of stuff up. So
Yep.
you actually felt like you got something out of the new one.
Yep.
Whereas the Lion King, which was terrible, I thought, was just a shot for shot remake of the animated one and not as good because the lions didn't emote. And so I'm just tired of all these live action remakes. I'm sure Lilo and Stitch was fine. I don't care to watch it.
I don't care. Yeah, it's like I'll just watch the original.
Exactly.
The only one I cared for was Cruella, and that's because it wasn't a remake. It was.
I'm about to say it wasn't even. That's because they were just like, let's take a character
Yeah.
and do like a new. And it's like, yes, that's what you guys should be doing if you're
Yeah.
gonna do this thing. Like, build out these
Yeah.
worlds and characters in fun ways in live action. I'm totally down with that.
Exactly.
And you know, I think the way I felt about the Lion King one is why I didn't care to see Mufasa. Like
Right.
I don't care about this. Yeah, it's probably interesting to see young Mufasa, but I don't really care.
Yeah, I agree. All right, there's a big one we haven't talked about yet. I want to get to before we go, and this fits into the category of did we like it? Did we not? We could go either way on it, and that's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Trent, you want to talk about this one a little bit?
Yeah, I mean Harry Potter's great because they're like Harry's just showing up, being like, "I hate my life," and then it's like, "Well, guess what? You're a wizard. Like your life's actually dope, and like you're part of this big legacy of you're a chosen one." And then Order of the Phoenix happens. Spoilers for mainly the book of Order of the Phoenix. The movie doesn't really talk about this as much, but in the book, that we find out years ago that the divination professor, I'm blanking on her name,
Trelawney.
It's
Professor Trelawney.
Trelawney.
Thank you guys. Made a prophecy of like one will be born who will overthrow the Dark Lord and all of this stuff. But basically, the prophecy didn't mention which one. And basically, you learn that it could have basically been Harry or Neville because I think it was about the birthday, and both of them are born around the same time. And so Voldemort just happened to pick Harry. And so, because of that, it's a
So
everything in motion
crazy.
of Harry's the chosen one. But basically, the book basically says, yeah, if Voldemort had picked Neville, then Neville would have been the chosen one. Basically, Voldemort's actions to prevent his own defeat is what created Harry being the chosen one.
Yep.
So this is where it gets a little hairy, no pun intended, for me.
Intend the pun. Come on.
You're right.
Yeah,
I literally I couldn't think of another word, and I was like, gosh, I'm gonna do it. Because I finished the Harry Potter series for the first time like a year and a half ago. So it's still more fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
So because I love the twist you just talked about, but when you find out why Harry is able to defeat Voldemort in the end and why Voldemort cannot kill Harry, it's because of his mother's sacrifice.
Yes.
So if Voldemort had picked Neville and no one saves Neville the way that Harry's mom saved Harry, then do we even have a chosen one?
Well, no, I think the implication is that like everything that basically like Dumbledore relocating Harry's family would have happened with the Longbottoms too. Like everything literally would have happened the same. It's literally just who he picked as the family.
Interesting.
And then with the relocation, maybe the Longbottoms don't trust.
I'm about to say this is the
Peter
difference.
Peter Pettigrew.
Yes,
they don't have somebody
they
don't have somebody that sells them out, so it could be completely different.
Yeah, it totally could be. But there's still, well, yeah, I guess, yeah. So maybe you're selling me on it. Maybe you're selling me on that was actually a genius version of this trope. I've always been like, because of Lily's spell sacrifice on Harry, that feels like a component separate from the prophecy. But I could see it how it is basically swindled in with the prophecy. But I think the other reason I love it is because when you know the character of Trelawney, like it almost feels like a sports gambler just like taking a shot in the dark one
I'm
night.
about to say, it's funny because like the whole gimmick in the story is that she's like not that great at or like not consistent at it.
No, not at all.
And so Voldemort did all this out of fear and greed. And it's like, well, who knows if she was even right? Like,
right. Like she bet the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season, and everyone was like, "You're crazy, lady." I think that is one of the best. That's one of the things that elevates it for me is because it is not this like sovereign holy prophet coming in to tell us the story. It's a very unreliable narrator in Professor Trelawney.
And I think the trope of the chosen one works better in the books with that explanation, because in the movies it's basic chosen one stuff.
Yeah, it's very
they don't really talk about the stuff with Neville and his parents. And I think it's interesting that a chosen one gets chosen because of a villain's actions.
Yes,
right.
That's super cool
because he's the one that like assigns who the chosen one is, and so he like assigns his own defeat.
Yeah,
and
he seals his fate.
Kind of locks in how it works, and then nobody. It's an interesting character position for Neville too, because everyone's like, "Who cares about Neville?"
And then he could have been the one.
Well, and then the series goes on, and Neville has some pretty big contributions.
Yes. Yeah, Neville's huge.
He does.
To defeating Voldemort with the with the stuff with the snake.
Yeah.
And helping Harry out throughout some of it. So even though he's like false chosen one, fake chosen one, whatever you want to call him, he still has a major role to play as well.
Yeah.
Well, and the other reason it's great is that like when Harry dies for a second, like Dumbledore's like, "Hey, you can choose to just like be dead and go to like the afterlife."
Oh, that's
like,
a great point. I didn't
like,
even think of that.
Like you've already fulfilled every like possible burden you could have over all this, and he's like, "Nah, like I'm gonna go ahead and see this through anyway."
I'm getting chills just thinking about it. This might be my favorite now.
I'm about to say I might be talking myself into this. Actually, is my favorite version of this as I'm speaking it through.
I think I am like.
Look, y'all got 7 seasons of DS9 to watch.
That's true. That's true. Circle
You're
back.
Right. You're right. We can't say it's not over yet. We haven't finished scouting everything. Any other chosen one stories that we didn't get to mention that are worth a mention?
I feel like those are the big ones.
Yeah.
I think the only thing interesting, we talked about it a little bit off mic. You guys don't think Aragorn's a chosen one. That's like the only other kind of one.
So I guess because is there a prophecy about
I guess
Aragorn?
not, right? It's just that he's from a family line.
He's from a
So I
family
guess
line.
not.
Yeah,
I guess
it's more of
not,
a
technically.
bloodline thing.
Yeah, and I think,
Which could, but that could, I feel like
I
it doesn't have to be prophecy, right?
I think
This
I
is the
think
question.
recovering what your bloodline lost is different from a chosen one thing. Because
Okay.
we were talking about like with the definition of like you're predestined to have major influence or something, and your path is kind of set. And Aragorn's just kind of like, well, in the books, he's kind of like, this is my magic sword. I'm the heir. I'm going to get what's mine.
Yeah.
And I think that's different from a chosen one. Now, in the movie, you could maybe make the argument because he's more of a reluctant guy. But even then, I don't see him as a chosen one. He's like, I'm just trying to beat Sauron, trying to make the world a better place. But there's no prophecy, no visions or anything about Aragorn. I see Aragorn kind of like Luke, of like, okay, main character that goes through like heroic journey, not chosen one.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I
That
can
makes
see
sense.
that
Now that you're
because
talking through.
I think when it boils down to it, like there is a difference between a hero's journey and this chosen one trope. Like
Mhm.
you can go on a hero's journey without being the chosen one.
Yeah.
Now you can be the chosen one on the hero's journey,
Right.
For
Right.
sure.
but I don't think Aragorn falls into it.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, now that we've talked it through.
So one that popped into my mind earlier today, I forgot to bring it up before we started recording. And it's almost like an accidental chosen one. And that's Miles Morales.
I was wondering if we were going to bring this up because, like, again, Lord and Miller Lego Movie, just pointing it out there.
That's right. Yeah.
They
So
like,
they're
go
into this trope.
They go back to this and subvert it again because, like, in Across the Spider-Verse, the big twist is like you were never meant to be Spider-Man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
you weren't supposed to be Spider-Man. Yeah.
And so we don't know how that's all going to end until Beyond. But this idea of, again, like, yeah, you weren't meant to, maybe, or like it wasn't preordained, but you still have the choice to like be involved. Is like really cool.
I just thought of another one too that's a little bit of a twist on it.
What's that?
Our boy, the Dragon Warrior, Poe from Kung Fu Panda.
There is no secret ingredient. There is no secret ingredient. Yes, it's like the same thing as the Lego Movie.
Because they've got the prophecy about the Dragon Warrior or whatever.
I didn't think we were getting here tonight.
And Master Oogway's like, it's you, but he just happens to fall when he's pointing at what is her name? Tigress?
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, nope, fate says it's you. I thought I was pointing to her, but I'm pointing to you. You are the Dragon Warrior. And then he gets the golden scroll and whatever, like Trent was saying, like, wait a minute, I can be the chosen one. And then they come back in the later movies that are like, look, let me tell you how magical pandas are.
That's amazing. I love that we got to Kung Fu Panda on the tree, the branching tree of chosen ones.
That's great.
I'll say it. Oh, I loved Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, the first Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda is amazing.
I might be watching it again. We have Peacock right now because of the Olympics, so it might be time to fire up.
I said branching tree, and that made me think: is Loki a chosen one?
No, he just thinks that he has like a destiny, but that's not the same thing.
I'm talking about Loki by the end of the TV show.
I know, but he isn't ordained by anything.
Well, he's ordained. He's ordained by Kang.
Right?
Oh, he is, isn't he?
Kang is like, I set you on the. He's like, Kang is like, you walked the steps, but it was my path.
Right.
That's interesting.
So
I hadn't thought about it.
And Kang
intended to still defeat him. So I guess like Kang set him on the path. Yeah. But Kang thought he was always going to come out on top. Right?
Yeah.
That's how I interpret the season. Like he didn't think Loki would be selfless enough to do what he
to
does
sit
at
on
the
the
end.
throne
Yeah,
himself. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But he did offer that position to Loki and Sylvie in season 1 of like, hey, take my spot.
right, right. He did. Yeah, it's
I
a
don't know.
chosen one story where it's like a little bit like what we're talking about with Paul, where he has to make like it's a sacrifice to be the chosen one.
Mm,
I I don't think I think we can make an argument he is. I think the point is it twists like everything Loki's ever wanted is a throne,
Yeah,
and then he finally gets his throne, and it's not great.
it's not what. Yeah, it's a
It's
life of
but he
isolation forever.
I think that's the point they've made in some of the Thor movies of like that's what ruling is.
Right.
yeah.
Of
That's a great point. Yeah.
you don't get. I think he could be a chosen one, but I think the point is more be careful what you wish for
Yep.
because you might get it.
Yep.
We'll have to see what happens in Doomsday.
That's right. That's right,
Yeah.
man. Tony
I was
is does
well,
Doctor
Nah,
Strange's future
I
vision
was
count
wondering about
as?
this in general until you mentioned Loki. I was like, it's funny that Marvel like hasn't really done a chosen one
Yeah,
thing in like the
not in
MCU.
its
Yeah.
classic form. No.
No, I wouldn't say Tony. That's just like
I don't think
Strange is
so.
like there's only one way that we can do this, and but that's just like it feels more like math. It's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah. I think
I think we've hit all the
I
big
think we've
ones
hit
from
all the
like the
big
big
ones
Mhm.
for sure.
franchises.
Yeah. So, in y'all's personal taste going forward, like as we get into a new era of this kind of storytelling in the comics, and then not the comics but the comic book story or comic book movies, as we get more Dune movies, as we get some of these new fantasy stories that are going to be created to on-screen adaptations, like, do you want to see the chosen one trope anymore?
I want to see it if it's clever like it is in Harry Potter and stuff we talked about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think audiences we are seeing that it has to subvert it or be clever for it to keep going. Like we were just talking about with the Spider Verse and what they're doing with that. I think it's a
Right.
really clever
Yep.
version. Everything Everywhere All at Once kind of is a subversion of a chosen one thing in a
Yeah.
way of like you're gonna like solve everything in the universe, and basically the end of that movie is just like no, you just have to choose.
That's a
Like
great call. Yeah.
so I feel like audiences don't want a traditional one like Anakin Skywalker anymore.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
think audiences have maybe moved beyond that. Um but I don't know. I wouldn't resist it if it was done as long that you could even do it a traditional way for me, and as long as the character still has complexity to them, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I think the traditional one has kind of run its course.
Yeah.
I'm kind of over the chosen one trope. Like I don't need to see it anymore. If they do some twists on it, like there'll be some twists on it with Dune, um, and maybe some other ones. I think it can be. I think it can still be used good, but it's not something that I'm going to be like if it wasn't used frequently anymore. I'm like, oh, you know what? I really need a good chosen one movie.
Right.
I'm kind of over it as a concept.
Like, I think about Superman last year
Mm-hmm.
being not a chosen one story, but a hero who is just good
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
at his very core. Um, I don't need a chosen one. I don't need a prophecy telling me that Superman was destined to save Earth.
Yeah.
Um, because it's already like, to me, I think it's harder to believe, I think, in our world today, that if someone were to hear that they were the like savior or messiah, that they would actually, you know, do all the good things that they were prophesied to
Hmm.
do.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's harder to believe that. And I think that's why Superman works, is because it's not trying to fulfill some prophecy. It's just saying this is who Superman is, and this is the hero you're going to watch. And I think it's why Dune Part 3 is probably going to work, because it's saying, it's the subversion. It's saying if someone
Hmm.
was told they would have this much power, this is how wrong it would go.
Yep.
Yeah,
So yeah, I
100%.
think that's kind of where I land with it. Um, so yeah, I think I think we covered a lot of ground today, guys.
I think so.
Yeah, this was fun.
This is really fun.
I feel enriched in understanding the this trope of storytelling. We're gonna do this more. We're gonna do this more. Just get into some really good discussion amongst the three of us about what we like in our stories. So as always, thank you all for listening. You can listen wherever you get your podcast and watch on YouTube and follow us at the Stinger Pod. We will be back again soon. I don't want to say what's next, but it's gonna be a fun episode. We'll talk to y'all again soon.